welcome to another video. Thank you for joining me. This is Joy. I'd like to take a moment to welcome the new subscribers to this channel. Thank you for choosing to be part of this community. I hope that here you are supported as you continue to journey forward. To the returning subscribers, family, welcome back. I hope that you are all taking care of yourselves. You deserve the very best of yourself. Today, I want to talk to you about how narcissists view children. I think it's no mistake that psychologists will reference narcissists as little children. I kind of feel like that's a setup. And I think it's wrong. There's no way. There is simply no comparison. Our children are innocent. And, they'll say that children have narcissistic tendencies or they behave in a certain way. What I want to say is that the child is still developing and learning themselves. And so they test boundaries as they develop their character. But the narcissist is they're an adult. They know who they are. They're fully aware of what they are doing. They're doing these things deliberately. It is actually their call. It is their assignment. They are in full agreement with what they are doing. It's not a mistake. It's not a happenstance that they're manipulating people. They're just doing what they are doing. Children are still developing their character. They're still becoming. There simply is no comparison. But in the eyes of a narcissist, they view their children as competition. And for this very reason, they hate their children. For those of you who have been raised by narcissists, I'm sure you can understand, or this resonates with you when I say that they hate their children. They envy their children. And I know that may seem so harsh. Parents are not supposed to be this way with their children. But when we are talking about a narcissist, there's nothing normal about them. They are under demonic influence, and so they will operate in hate and envy, even when it comes to their own children. And that's a reflection of their own self-loathing. They see the innocence of their children, and that irritates them. Because while their children, especially, in the formative years, are learning themselves and they're developing and they're testing boundaries and they're, especially when they're saying those no's or just acting out, trying to get their way, having temper tantrums, the narcissist can't stand that. Because they see that as that is what they do. And yet the children get the attention that they want. And they can't stand it. They hate it. They view their children as competition. And yet they can see the innocence that their children carry. And that drives them insane. And that's why they begin to project all of their self-loathing onto the children. And they decide, like in homes where there are multiple children, they decide to divide so that they can conquer. And they decide to name one their golden child and another the scapegoat, so that there can be no harmony between the siblings, so that there can forever be rivalry and division within that family. And that's how they feel that they win in this competition. Because nobody wins at the end of the day. While the golden child may be placed on a pedestal And it may seem that they are given all the favor of that narcissistic parent. It comes at a cost. There's nothing that the narcissist does that is good for anybody, not even the golden child. And when we view the scapegoat child and they're the trash can for all the narcissist's vile projection, that hurts too. It's painful. And the repercussions are more visible. There are no winners here. Children need attention. Children need love. Children need support. Children need encouragement. And the narcissistic parent views this as an intrusion on what they believe their rights are. And so it costs them nothing to turn their backs on their children. It costs them nothing to mistreat, abuse, misuse, to degrade, belittle, verbally abuse, physically abuse these children. It means nothing to them. They mean nothing to them. They're competition. They're in the way. Even though the narcissist may have said they wanted these children, the children are nothing but props in their fantasy world. You know, narcissists have magical thinking. In their minds, there's a production that is taking place and everybody plays a role. And so the children are nothing but collateral damage. They're part of the play, they're part of the show, and they have a role to play. And that's all it is. They cannot stand the love that the children are given, not just by the other parents, but by everybody within the family and within the neighborhood, within the community. All the good reports about the child, they can't stand that. That's the adulation that they should be getting. They are jealous of their own children. You know, because the narcissist is on a demonic assignment, they have that innate ability to be able to see into the finer parts of a person's soul. They are able to determine that, oh, this person has a quality about them. There's something special about them. And when they're able to see this in their own children, they can't stand them and they hate them because this child came from me, says the narcissist, but they're nothing like me. They're everything I wish I could be, but I will never be. They see the qualities that the child has, and they know that there is nothing that they can do that will stop them. And so they do everything that they can to slow this child down. If you were raised by a narcissist, I know that you know what I'm talking about. They work hard to slow you down. They work hard to break you down mentally so that you can't think for yourself, so that you depend on them even as an adult, so that you can see clearly, so that you forever have a veil that limits your ability to see your own self. They strip you of your identity with the words that they tell you over and over again that you're no good and you'll amount to nothing, that you are an embarrassment and you will always be beneath. It's not the truth. Maybe you're raising children with a narcissist and you see the disappointment that your children have to deal with because the narcissist is mean. They berate the children. They disappoint them. They abuse them emotionally, physically, verbally, financially. They do not care. And you know, the narcissist also can see that this child that they are raising, this child that they are responsible for bringing into this earth, has that gifting of being a super empath. Yes, it happens. They can tell. And what's so amazing is that sometimes, children, they say children say whatever they want to say. And it's crazy because the children unknowingly always say something to the narcissist that bites them in their behinds. And they catch a narcissistic injury. And that's why they rage on these children the way that they do. It's like the children unknowingly go supernova by putting the narcissistic parent in their place. I've seen it happen with my own. They didn't know what they were doing. And I said, "Ooh, snap." And I could see it in the narcissist's eyes that this was an injury. Maybe you recognize this in your own story. But narcissists cannot stand their children. It doesn't matter, and it's hard to understand. But if you are a child of a narcissist, or if you're raising children with a narcissist, as much as you can, I want to encourage you to have limited contact with that person. Decide how much, if you have to have contact with them. If no contact is not an option, I encourage you to have limited contact. Decide what is the amount of time that you will devote to conversation, and keep it as minimum as possible. Because what the narcissist will always want to do is to get control over you at all times. They will try to get control over your children at all times. The goal of the narcissist is to get into their head. Remember, they siphon the soul through the head, through the way that they talk to the children. And so it's important that even as you hear what they say to the children, and maybe you don't hear because the conversation takes place at the other parent's home. But when your child comes home, it's time for you now to hear what has been said and to begin to feed them mentally with what will build them back up. Your voice is so powerful to your children. Do not stop talking to them. Do not stop speaking life into them. Do not stop encouraging them and being positive and patient with them. Be loving with your words. Show compassion at all times and be patient. Do not give that narcissistic parent long conversations, because again, they just want to be inside of your head and place doubt. They want to invalidate you. They want to invalidate the child. They will always challenge what you are doing. And if they're challenging what you are doing, they're challenging what that child is doing. They play games with your thoughts as well as your children's thoughts. So, as adults, we know how to handle this. We can counter these thoughts. But I just want to encourage you to continue to pour into your children, because they're still growing and children don't have all the tools to process all these emotions. And so where possible, please put your children in therapy. Get them the support that they need. But as their parent, your voice is so important to them. So continue to speak into their lives. I want to thank you so much for your time today. And as you continue to raise your children, please know that I am praying for you. I know that it's not easy. I face so many challenges in this area myself. And so I want you to stand strong and continue to go forward, because we have the victory in Jesus' name. Until the next video, take care of yourselves.